Sometimes a signature model comes along that just ticks all of your boxes, and if you're really lucky, it will be one of your favourite players too. On one hand, you'll own a high quality instrument, and on the other, a unique piece of merchandise. But signature models tend to come with a less than modest markup. Amongst those for me is the JBM100. For me, it's exactly what I've been looking for in a metal guitar for low tunings. But for £2,499 retail, I think there are other options from many other brands to explore, so I never considered it likely that I'd own one. Until now. Say hello to the £1,580 cheaper JBM27. Looks almost identical, right? Well, that's because it is. Both guitars feature a mahogany body, maple top, DiMarzio Titan pickups, locking tuners, metal flake matte paint job, bound fretboard, and a 5-way toggle switch. It sounds too good to be true. So what are the forfeits? The Low Pro Edge Tremolo is replaced with an Edge 02. Prestige treated frets are swapped out for regular jumbos. You no longer get an ebony fretboard but a Jatobá one instead. The neck is downgraded from a 5-piece maple walnut to a 3-piece walnut only, and the locking tuners are now Goto instead of Spurzl. And that's pretty much it. I know, they ship in drop G sharp, which means the first noise you're likely to hear is this. Honestly, I unboxed this thing and I flicked the low G sharp string. It was on my lap, and I had to check to see whether it was actually a toy from Lovehoney. The Titan pickups have impressed me too. They were developed originally for the JBM100 in 2013 by Ibanez, so they sit well at home in these models. The bridge gives out a warm, colourful tone with a present aggressive bite, complemented by the neck position, a dynamically versatile, smooth and expressive voice, allowing for sparkly leads and control cleans. A very cohesive set indeed. You'll also quickly notice the weight of these models. You have the mahogany body to thank for that, although it does provide a nice, rich, warm sustain that you don't tend to get on the thinner models, such as the old SAs. Speaking of woods, the Jatobá wood is very pretty. A light reddish tint on the board is the only major aesthetic change that you'll notice between the older and younger brothers. And honestly, even though the ebony is a beautiful deep black, I don't personally consider this a downgrade, though I do see why some might. So how about the tremolo? I've never loved the Floyd Rose type bridge simply because they always cause me trouble when it comes to tuning stability and setups. And even though it took me about 2 hours to get this thing up to B flat standard, it's been perfectly fine ever since. The action on the trem is great too. You get a lot of control over how much torque it holds and you can flutter it nicely. Though my biggest gripe with these bridges is the springs. If you're playing a heavily overdriven amp, they'll interrupt the silences of any staccatos you play unless you take measures to dampen them. Though that isn't exclusive to this guitar, I do wonder if the more expensive bridge would do the same.
Self-confirmation. There's witness only to its own reflection. Bound to the holy masses you create until you're dead. Rev up your tongue. Find your way up to fame.
So then, here we have a well-oiled machine of a guitar, and proof that reducing the price by over half does not necessarily have to equal in quality. I think this is a bold move by Ibanez. I wouldn't have been surprised if they downgraded the pickups for this price to avoid too much competition against the prestige model, like a lot of other brands do. And so I applaud Ibanez for releasing this guitar at this price, and highly recommend giving one a try. Hi, thank you for watching. I often make these videos and I watch them back 2-3 weeks later and I go, I should have mentioned that, or I've missed this out, or there'll be a comment and someone's like, you should have spoken about this, and I'm like, yep, idiot. So what I want to do moving forward is when I do a review like this, and we can go back to the ones I've done already as well, if you've got a question, leave a comment and then I'll make a follow-up video answering 5, 6, 7, 8, however many questions that I think are worth answering, and it's kind of a nice way to interact with you guys as well. If you have any personal questions as well, feel free to ask, except rude ones, thanks. Do the old subscribing and whatnot, and I'll see you soon.